Okay, Thursday, October 5th, 2023, interview of Francenia Mimms by Lily Zheng at Lincoln Park Academy in Fort Pierce, Florida. This interview is being conducted in LPA's Centennial year to gather personal memories of Miss Mimms' experiences as a class of 1959 graduate at Lincoln Park Academy. Miss Mimms, thank you so much for agreeing to help with this oral histories project. And if at any time during this interview you would like to pause and take a break, I can just pause the recording.
Okay.
So we're going to get started with the questions. First one, these are just generic ones. What is your full name?
Francenia Mimms.
Okay, very beautiful. And then, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes.
Okay. So, where and when were you born?
I was born in Fort Pierce
Okay.
in 1941, July 13.
Oh, okay. And then, do you remember your first memory in life?
Yes. My first memory in life was in kindergarten, that I had to walk to the school by myself without my big sister. And I cried. Because I had to go by myself without her.
Okay, that must have been scary. Okay, so how long have you lived in Fort Pierce or the surrounding area?
Probably 78 years, but I've been here since going to school, coming back here from college. So I've been here a good 78 years.
I see that you really enjoyed this place. Okay, so tell me about your parents, and then where are they from, and everything else.
Okay, my mother's parents come from South Carolina. My father's parents come from Georgia. They migrated here, and she met him in Miami.
Oh, okay.
So my mother was, she worked in restaurants, making salads and sandwiches. And my father worked in Miami. He worked at the airport. But whatever they do, lugging, pack suitcases. And then he went on to work in the dry cleaners business.
Oh, okay. Do you know why they decided to settle in Fort Pierce and have you guys go here?
Well, my parents decided that because their parents were here.
Oh, okay. All right. So do you have any siblings? And what are their names and everything?
Yes, I have two sisters and a brother. One sister lives in Melbourne, one is in Palm Bay, and my brother is in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. And then, did they attend LPA at any time?
Yes, they all did. My older sister graduated from Lincoln Park, and I did. And my young sister came back from Jersey to finish here at Lincoln Park.
Okay.
But my brother went to Lincoln Park until he was about 13, and then my mother moved to New Jersey, and that's where he finished school.
Oh, okay. Do they like it here?
Well, yes, they liked Lincoln Park, but they didn't like Fort Pierce.
Oh. I can see you're the only one here. All right. So, do you know if any of your extended family attended LPA? And do you know of their experience this year?
Pause that because I got to get. Yes, I have a lot of cousins that finished here.
Oh, okay.
I went to school here. They are, I could tell you at least 50 of them, maybe 100.
Oh, wow.
Because they married and had children, and their children are here, and they were here.
Whole entire generation.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Okay. So do you remember what Fort Pierce was like growing up here? Any specific neighbors that come to mind or anyone?
When I was a child, we stayed in an area that was called Jenkins Quarters. There were two brothers there, my grandfather and his brother, and they had 10, 15 kids together. one had 12. My grandfather had 9. And we all stayed in this area called Jenkins Quarters. Mm-hmm. Now, we also had grocery stores there. Mm-hmm. We had the theater. Lincoln Theater was there. Mm-hmm. Okay. We didn't really have to leave out of the area. Mm-hmm. But when we wanted to go and buy shoes or clothes, we went down on 2nd Street where they were shopping. Mm-hmm. And we went there and did our shopping, buying things. And we were treated very well.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Okay. Can I just pause this interview for one moment? Just get back started? All right. So what was attending LPA like? Did you have any specific events that you want to mention or anything?
Attending Lincoln Park Academy was good. My mother liked going here. My mother graduated from here in 1934. Mm-hmm. And we liked the area. Mm-hmm. Growing up. Mm-hmm. And at Lincoln Park, it was nice. It was in the neighborhood over on Means Court. Mm-hmm. So we did not have far to walk until we got this big, beautiful school mm-hmm. On I-17th and I. Then we had to come out of the neighborhood to get to the school. But it was still within distance, 15, 20 minutes walk. Mm-hmm. So, as I said, we had everything in the community. And we were good.
Okay. Any particular favorite teachers or anything?
Oh, I had a couple favorite teachers. I remember my first grade teacher, Miss mm-hmm. Bailey. Mm-hmm. I liked her. She was very sweet. She was an old lady. She was very sweet. And then there was another one. Her name was Mrs. Long. Mm-hmm. And then she married and became Mrs. Jackson. And then there were one that my mother had, was her teacher, Mrs. Pierce, mm-hmm. Elizabeth Pierce, and she was just great.
Okay. All right. So were you involved in any clubs or extracurricular activities such as sports here?
Yes. I was a majorette when I was in the 3rd, 4th grade. Mm-hmm. And then I continued that until I got in the 10th grade. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the New Homemakers of America. Mm-hmm. That was a club, and I was in that. And then I was in plays. My class had plays. Mm-hmm. And dancing. Okay. And I had a group that I taught. We did creative dancing. Okay. So I was very involved with things on campus.
Okay. Do you have a favorite subject?
Or English and home economics.
Oh, okay.
But I did learn cooking. I do well. But sewing, I learned to make my clothes.
Okay. So was there an home economics class at LPA here?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We had a home economics. They don't call that home ec now. I don't know what.
No, we don't have it. I don't think you have it at all now. No. Only an economics course.
Yeah, we learned how to read patterns and make clothes.
Okay.
And that's what we did. And then we tried to teach in cooking. And we did a little bit of that.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the 2 classes. English, I really liked English. Uh-huh. My mother was she always say, speak correctly. Okay. Pronounce your words all the way out.
Right.
And that's why I like English, because her English teacher was strict with them, and she carried on over into us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did your teachers inspire you?
Well, once my teacher, Miss Long, at that time, she always told us, look, you have to learn this. You got to learn your history. You got to learn English. You got to learn how to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Because when you leave here and go to get a job, you got to know how to interview. You got to know these things. Mm-hmm. And so all that carried on with me. And then when I got in high school, Miss Pierce was right there also. Learn to speak correctly. So and then the poems that we had to recite and learn from different authors. They were nice.
Okay. Any particular poem you remember?
No. I remember some. Well, no, I can't really say them now, but I did like the poetries of, oh my gosh, I should have looked that up. I can't remember her name. But anyway, and Collins, he was a writer, wasn't he? But he wasn't a poet writer. Who was a poet writer? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Okay. What is your favorite LPA memory? Any specific events that you attended here that you really that stand out to you, or anything like that?
Repeat that.
Your favorite memory here.
My favorite memories here? Well, I remember the plays, how we did plays, and I don't know if the classes do plays anymore on stage.
Yeah, we have one tomorrow.
Good. And I had to say the commencement address, repeat
Okay.
I was elected to give the commencement address. And I was so excited that I was able to do that. And I thought, that's good. Okay. Yeah.
What were your clothing styles growing up? How do they differ to today's style? The clothing styles that you had growing up. So what kind of clothes were trendy during your time?
We did not wear pants. We had to wear dresses to school, skirts, dresses. And they would come down to your knees. We didn't have to wear them below now unless you wanted to, but mine always come right above my knees. But we had gym clothes. We had to have special gym clothes and white sneakers in gym. And the gym instructor would check you. You stood in line, and she would go around and check you. And sometimes you put the white stuff on, and she would kneel down there and touch it. That was terrible. Anyway, it was okay. That's, yeah. Other than that was great.
Okay. Do you remember any fads from your teenage years?
We didn't have fads. That's what I thought. What is fads?
I'm not sure myself either.
But I was thinking it was clothing that, I don't know, that you wear certain clothing with names and stuff on it. No, we didn't do that. You couldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't think about that.
Oh, okay.
That was not in clothing.
What would you say was your main focus in high school?
Graduating. That was too easy. Graduating. But yeah, I want to know what I was going to do because I like typing and I like shorthand. And I had a great teacher in typing and shorthand. And I thought, that's what I want to be. I want to be a secretary. So that was it. But,
okay. So how would you say how your classmates would remember you? How do you class?
Oh, I did call some of my classmates and say, oh, you were a quiet person. You were not fussy. You were good to get along with.
That's good.
So,
are there any funny stories you'd like to talk about?
No, I tried to write a funny story down about my grandmother. The recreation center. Do the students still go to the recreation center?
No, ma'am.
Okay, when they had the gym, and you could not go in there with your shoes on.
Oh.
So we had sock hops.
Okay.
But then when they built the recreation center, it's called Oratia, over on 13th Street and Avenue M. That was the recreation center over there that we would go on Fridays.
Okay.
Evenings. And that's where we had our dancing and all, and got to know the different classes. And all. But we did have sock hops in the gym once in a while. They would let us get in the gym and have a party or something.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you still friends with anybody that you attended LPA with?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Well, that's because on our a couple of us got together and started doing reunions.
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed in touch with practically all of them because we were sending out letters, we were calling them, and I keep records right now of everything that has happened. We had our 50-year reunion, and I have a tape of that.
Oh.
And so I do, if I need something, want something from one of them, I can call them, and they're very nice to help me. But I have special ones that I maybe shouldn't call their names because I don't want somebody else to say, oh, well, I was her friend and she didn't call my name. So I have a couple of ladies and a couple of gentlemen that we still stay in contact with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How recently was that 50-year reunion?
50-year reunion was in 50 years from 59 is what? 2009.
Oh, 2009. Okay. So what do you do for a living now?
Retire.
Okay. What did you retire from?
I was a librarian at the college.
Oh, okay.
I was a professor, a librarian at the college here in Fort Pierce, Indian River State College now.
Yeah.
But when I started, it was Indian River Junior College, and then it went to community college, and now it's a state college.
Yes.
And that's when I retired for emeritus from that college.
Okay. How long were you at the job?
I worked there in total because I started with Lincoln Junior College for 2 years, and then it closed, integrated to Indian River State College. And I was there for 43 years.
Oh, 43 years. Okay. How was it there, just being a librarian? Do you remember any particular students or anybody?
Well, not really. I don't remember. I was in a library, and when computer science came out, I had to learn how to use the computers and teach the computer classes.
Oh, okay.
So I taught in Fort Pierce, St. Lucie West, Okeechobee, Vero.
Oh.
All of the counties that the school was affiliated with, that's where I had to go on weekends, and I taught these computer classes on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And that was good. And that's why all of those students, and they'll come back to me in the library sometimes, and they'll say, Miss Mimms, you remember me? I said, not really, give me a hint. He said, I was in one of your weekend classes. Now, I taught that for how many years? About 3 years. And do I remember all of those students that I only had for, and then I taught library science. And I remember one student. She was really good. And she became a librarian.
Oh, okay.
And so it was, I like that. And I like working in the library. I like cataloging the books and ordering the books. It was good.
Okay. How many years of schooling did you have to endure to become a librarian?
I didn't have to really intern because I was working in the library.
Oh, okay.
So I got my master's working in the library. And I just had to do a little video on how to set up the equipment and how to present it and what it would be like to do that if you didn't know how.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was good. I liked every minute of it. I was sorry that I had. And then when I retired, I went back to teaching GED. So that was that was good. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed because there were students trying to get their high school diploma, and they were there to really get it.
Yes.
And I would sit down with them and go over, and they would always come to me with math questions.
Okay.
And I had the sign on my desk said, I love math. And I was wondering, why is everyone coming to me with math questions? And the teacher over there was smiling at me because she was doing the English. And she said, look at your desk. And I looked at it and says, I love math. So I said, my goodness, they're coming to me with algebra, chemistry, everything. So I just had to read with understanding and then do the problem.
Okay. What significant historical events do you remember hearing about or experiencing growing up?
Well, when I was old enough to understand wars, they had they bombed Pearl Harbor the year or two after I was born.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, daddies, my uncles are coming home from the war. What war? The one that they were fighting with the Japanese or whoever. And then later on, there was Cuba and Fidel down there. And I had one classmate I know of that went to war.
Oh, okay.
And he came back and finished college and all, and he was a great science teacher. His name was James Andrews. And he was a principal also here in the county. And then there was another student, a friend of ours, that went into the war down there. And he was, his truck exploded. They threw a bomb in it. But he survived. He's good. He's become some of the deans up there in New York College or something. And that's the only two that I know that went to war. And that was during in the 1960s.
Vietnam.
So I was in the 70s. So it was in the 60s. And I had a student that had come from Cuba, and he was telling me all the things that was going on down there. But other than that, I don't know anything about war.
Okay. So your experience with knowing about these wars, do you know if they have any direct effect towards your family or anybody?
Oh, yes, the instructor I was talking about, James Andrews, it has a little effect on him. But he's still around. And yeah, that's all I know about him. I had a cousin to go into war as a Medicare, whatever you call them. And he joined Agent Orange, and he had come to contact with that, and he died.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get married?
Did I get married? Yes. To a wonderful guy. He was he played football.
Oh, okay.
And he was also captain of the football team.
Oh.
And we didn't get married right away. Not after school. It was 2 years after school that we got married.
Okay.
And he worked at Piper Aircraft until he retired. And we had two beautiful kids. A girl that was she was in medical student.
Okay.
Worked in with the people that need care. What do you call them? On a home that they need care.
Nursing homes?
Yeah, and the nurse. And my son became city manager here in Fort Pierce.
Oh, okay.
So, and my son has 4 boys.
Okay.
And my daughter has a girl and a boy and a grandchild.
Aw, okay. Do you have any fond memories with your children or your husband?
I have a lot of great memories with my husband. And he's deceased now. He died about 10 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
But after we retired, we traveled together.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we were fortunate enough to be able to do that when he retired.
Okay. So did any of your children or your grandchildren attend Lincoln Park?
Yes, my son did.
Oh, okay.
He was in the gifted class.
Okay.
And he came here for a year or two in the gifted class. Then the gifted class went to Westwood, but he went to Fort Pierce Central.
Oh, okay. Do you remember him? Do you remember if he liked his experience here?
Yeah, well, he was in the gifted class, and he was in the band here. He used to blow a trombone.
Okay. What do you consider to be the greatest inventions or improvements during your lifetime?
During my lifetime? Oh, a lot of them.
List them all.
Okay, when I was a little girl, my grandmother had the telephone. She was the only one that had the telephone in the area. And then she had a TV. The only one it is where I started watching television. Okay, what else come about? Oh, going to school. I started working at the college. We had electric typewriters. All those equipment there. So what else is great? Taking videos, the camera, instead of taking a picture, you can take the camera. But then we got the cell phones that you can do all that with now. So it was all these great adventures that you're saying this. You are doing it now, and there are more coming. Yeah. So who knows?
So what are your memories of events such as segregation and the civil rights movement?
Okay, when that came up, segregation. When I was little, I said we stayed in an area called Jenkins Quarters.
Yes.
And we had everything that we needed in the black area, theater, churches, little shops. So we had mostly everything we needed. So when they started having integration, I don't remember them having any problems as such, like riots and stuff. I don't recall any of that. But when it really was, when I was in Jacksonville in school, they had problems there. They had sit-in demonstrations.
Okay.
I didn't go.
Okay.
I wasn't involved. So I don't know how any of them were, and I remember Martin Luther King walk, and I saw that. I saw things on television, but I wasn't involved, and I was hoping that everybody would be okay. As far as that's all I remember about that.
Who had the greatest influence on you as a child and as an adult?
My mother.
Your mother. Okay. In what ways?
As speaking.
Okay.
As dressing. Talking to people. Getting an education.
Did that ever pass on to your children?
Yes, because as I said, my daughter went to the CNA license and also phlebotomy. She took that at the college. My son went into engineering, and he worked for the city for the past 25 years.
Okay.
So,
yeah, very big influence. What would you say are the greatest challenges you've ever faced in your life?
Challenges? A family.
Family?
That's the greatest challenge. That was about it. That's a great challenge. And you have to become a wife and mother and work at the same time.
Yeah.
It's you can pull all those together, and I wonder sometimes, how did I do it? But I did it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm proud of myself that my kids respect me. They they respect themselves. So that was a challenge, and I'm glad I went through it. I'm glad that now that I retired and I don't, and that's it.
So definitely very rewarding for you. What do you consider to be the greatest challenges that our community, our state, and nation today are facing?
Well, there's so many new things coming out and new medical things are coming out that sometimes I wonder who is going to be able to get to achieve most of this and pass it on to the younger people that's finishing school now and the people and the students that's finishing here in Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
Some of them are not coming back to Fort Pierce, but I'm hoping that majority of them will come back and set up businesses so Fort Pierce can grow more. Even though it is growing now, we have a lot that we didn't have.
Yes, yes.
And students that are graduating and going off to school and the ones that graduated and getting a good foundation, they're able to get jobs here.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't happening when I finished school. We didn't have that many jobs. And now there are a lot of things you can go into now.
Yes.
So I'm proud of that.
That's good. How do you compare those challenges that we're facing today to the challenges that you had during your time in your generation?
With the job market that's open to the students now, they weren't open to black students.
Okay.
And now that they are, it doesn't matter what you are, who you can get a job now. But at one time, there weren't that many. And that's why a lot of students did leave here. And either they took little jobs cleaning somewhere. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity not to do that.
Is there a person that really changed the course of your life by something that they did? And how did that happen?
Change the course of my life.
Perspective change or anything?
No, just like, as I was saying, growing up and talking to the teachers, and they wanted us to succeed and do better. And they all wanted us to do better.
Yes.
They were there for us. And if you had a problem, you can go to them and talk to them, and it didn't get all over the place. It would stay with you and your teacher. And that was good. That was more of commitment with them to help us to get ourselves together to be good adults, good mothers and fathers, whatever.
Okay. What has provided you with the most satisfaction in life? What are you most proud of?
My son. I'm really, really proud of him because at one time he was saying, "Mom, I don't know what I'm going to do." And I said, "Well, what do you like to do?" He said, "I like to put things together." And he wasn't sure that what he wanted to do, and he wasn't sure that he wanted to come back to Fort Pierce. And when he came to Fort Pierce once and worked as a student from college.
Okay.
And they liked him. So when he finished college, and we sent a letter to Aries at that time, and he said he hired him. And then he went in from engineering to other parts of the city, and now he's city manager. So I'm really proud of him. And I'm hoping that my grandsons, I have two now that have finished college, but two in college. One has finished college.
Okay.
And so my family needs to know that they need education.
Yes.
My granddaughter is a CNA. She also took phlebotomy class, and she worked with the people that needs the help in the different homes.
Okay. So is there anything that we didn't discuss about that you would like to add?
I think you covered everything, honey. You covered from the time I was born now. My husband, as I said, I'm alone now because my husband has gone. But I still have my children.
Yes, that's good.
And I'm glad I have them and can talk to them about things. And they'll say, "Oh, Mom, don't worry about that." They're always telling me, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about anything. Just tell me, and we'll take care of it."
So, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and I'm glad you called it for interview. I did talk to a Mr. Oh my gosh, what is his name? I think he's a basketball coach.
Mr. Moore?
That was his name?
Mr. Moore?
Well, he was in one of the pictures with us on the cover of a magazine.
That was Mr. Moore.
Moore?
Yeah.
See, I forgot his name. But anyway, he did he interviewed me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we didn't go that deep like you're doing here. No, we didn't do that. He only wanted to know more about the school.
Okay.
That's all. So I just told him, yeah, I grew up from kindergarten, went to first grade here, listened to the music in the courtyard, how Lincoln Park was at that time. And when we moved, how it became larger and better, with better teachers and all. So that's all we talked about. We didn't talk about my family.
Okay. Okay. So you've been in Lincoln Park your entire life, and you've come back for reunions and everything. How have you seen Lincoln Park evolve as a school?
I think it's doing good. Even though you don't have a football team. But the building and the expansion and all that's going on here, and when they changed it from a school from 7 through 12 and became
6 through 12.
a what?
We're 6 through 12 now.
Oh, 6 through 12? Well, okay, you went into a year to learn the students, so to teach the students better. And like I said, at the time when my son was here, and it was 7 through 12, but he only went here 1 or 2 years because he was in a gifted class. And I was very proud to know that we made it. Lincoln Park Academy, which was one of the top schools in the nation. And I was so proud of that. I really am. And I want this school to continue to be the best school in the nation.